afternoon, or good morning, depending on where you are. This is a Roaming Prepper channel. I'm your host, Pete. Thank you once again for joining me on my channel. And this should be posted both to YouTube and to Rumble, unless YouTube uh, kicks me off the universe, in which case I'll just be on Rumble then at that point. And then I'll come up with a whole new channel and be a jackass on YouTube all over again. But for now, it should be on both. In any case, this video goes out to the new preppers. I'll be right back and here are my thoughts to all of you guys and girls. Hey, good morning or afternoon, and thank you for joining me once again. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. If you have comments, you can leave them below the video. I normally premiere my pre-recorded videos, so I try to get in the chat and chat with everyone. I normally do. Sometimes I don't because, work and stuff like that. And then I'll have to catch up later. In any case, like and subscribe, thumbs down if you really didn't like what I had to share. And if you want to just put emojis in the comments, you can do that too. I've already made the mistake of telling someone to put poop emojis, and they literally went and put 20 poop emojis as their comment. They said, here's poop emojis, and 20 little turds. So I saw that at 6 in the morning one day at the gym. I was like, that's kind of funny, actually. So it did make my morning. So the person who put that, thank you. In any case, for the new preppers, I did a video, and this is early September 24 now. I did a video uh, last week, and I was kind of pissed off, to say the least, because I had seen certain channels and certain people in the chats were basically telling the new preppers, if you're not doing this or that, you are not really a prepper, or you're going to die. Or now, some of the "you're going to die" was sarcasm, right? They were like, "Oh, you don't have, Chef Boyardee spaghettios, you're going to die." All right, haha, yeah, I don't have spaghettios, so the zombies will get me, whatever. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people who literally had the audacity to go in a chat and tell people, hey, you're not growing your own food. Guess what? You're just going to die anyway. You're just going to be a loot drop. Don't even bother. Really. So, first of all, my first piece of advice to all the new preppers and the new content creators, those of you who may want to be recording your new journey, don't listen to those people. They can kiss your butt. Seriously, just ignore. Not important. So, moving on, what should you be doing? I would say from the very beginning, stop and decide why you're prepping. Now, you're probably wondering, well, I want to prepare for bad things. Yes, I get that part. Why are you prepping? What is it that is in your mind or in the back of your soul that's saying, I need to be prepared in case something? Well, what is that something? Economic collapse, flood, tornado, chupacabra. Chupacabra is my favorite bad guy. Um, space aliens, whatever. What concerns you about your current situation that makes you feel, you know what, I need to do something more? I'm not discouraging it. I just want you to take a day or two or a weekend and say, well, why am I prepping? What started me in prepping was getting caught in a hurricane in a 4x4. I'm sorry, a hurricane in a blizzard in upstate New York in a 4x4 trying to get to college. I was actually trying to get to a guard drill. And fortunately, I had all my crap there, and I was a Cub Scout once upon a time. So I was like, well, if I get stuck, I know I found the McDonald's, and I parked there for 6 hours. And I was like, well, I'll just sleep in the truck, crack the windows so I don't die of, CO2 poisoning, and turn off the truck. I got my sleeping bag, and I'm good. But then it got me thinking, well, what if there's a blackout at the base? What if there's a blackout at the dorm? What if there's a blackout back in my dad's apartment? And then, it starts going. So ask yourself, take a weekend and just think, what do I think my problems could be? Now, I've said it before on my channel. You're looking at your 80-20, the Pareto rule. I'm sure everyone's heard the 80-20 rule, right? 80% of the work is done by 20% of the workers, kind of thing. Well, we're flipping it around. Prepare for the 80% stuff that will probably happen to you. And now in your area, it may be 90%. You may get tornadoes every year, like, the middle of the country. All right, that's kind of a 90%. It's going to happen. Um, you may not get a hurricane in Alaska, but you damn well get one in Houston. But that only happens maybe once every year, once every other year. So it's kind of a 50-50, 70%. Prep for that stuff. Don't freak out about that really small likelihood of bioweapon attack, chemical weapon attack, stuff like that, the really complicated stuff. And then while you're taking that weekend to study and think about how it is you're trying to prep for the most imminent danger to you, flooding, tornado, hurricane, etc. Look at what you already got. Pull your gear. Were you a camper? Do you hunt? You like clay shooting? Whatever it is you're into, you may like cooking. Look at what do you have in your pantry. You may be a non-outdoors, non-gun shooting, non-fishing, I've never set up a tent in my life person, but damn it, I can make bread like a son of a gun. Well, go and inventory. What do you have? And what would you need if you had to make bread in your oven at home for 3 months? Just or a weekend. I had to cook for a weekend because the power went out or we flooded and I can't go anywhere. And that's where you start. Look at the most fundamental, the most basic. Blackouts happen all the time. Flooding from rain and storms happens all the time. And say, if I have to stay at home for 3 days, what would I need to function and be relatively okay? That's where you start. Now, surprisingly, I've mentioned it before. FEMA.gov has um, a great list of starter stuff. Uh, you can start there. You can go to a camping list or a hiking list on the various web pages and creators and go, oh, well, if I want to prep for 3 days, I'm going to prep like I'm camping for 3 days. Okay. Do you have a propane stove? Yes. Do I have propane? No, I ran out. Okay. On the list. And start making the list. And again, small targets. You know that when we were kids, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Right. Start small. 3 days, blackout. What do I need? Flashlight, first aid kit, food, water, blah, 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 toilet paper. Then you go, okay, what if it's a week long, like a hurricane? And now you grow from there. What you don't need to do is go online, buy a bunch of junk that doesn't work. Or even worse, you don't know how to use it. And here's my biggest piece of advice. As you start, use it. Don't leave it in the box. I mean, sometimes I know you're busy. You're like, oh, it came in from shipping or Amazon. Here, I'll put it on the counter. I'll deal with it later. Great. The first chance you get, open it up and use it. Try it. Does it turn on? Does the oven work? Does the propane bottle attach correctly? You have a problem, return it right then and there. If you're not understanding it, play with it a bit. Try and figure it out. If you can't, that's not the product for you. The bottom line is don't listen to people who tell you don't even bother because that's just stupid. But don't listen to people who tell you, "Oh, well, in reality, you need to run up $5,000 on your credit card or you're gonna die," because that's equally stupid. Those are the 2 extremes. Start small, start 3-day list. 3-day of food, 3-day of water, 3 days first aid, 3 days meds, whatever it is you think you need. You look at it and go, "How much is this gonna cost me?" You could use Excel. You could use a notepad and a calculator, however you like doing it. I'm a whiz with Excel. I'll make all sorts of crazy sheets, then I'll make a mistake and spend 3 days trying to find the error. But that's me. Some people are like, no, Excel's the devil. I'm going to get a notepad and a paper. That's fine too. And figure out, okay, if I got all these things, what will it cost me? $100, $200, $75. And then go shopping and see if your pricing's right. Weeks, I have to get my 3-day kit going. I need to spend 25 a week for the next however many months or 20 bucks a week. Now you've got manageable. get yourself organized, kind of get a feel for what you need and what it's going to cost you. Create a little budget and then start building. And then what you're going to find is certain places you're like, oh, if I buy this, they give me a sampler of this other stuff. Hmm, I'll spend the extra five here. I'll get this $20 sampler and that'll go in my preps. Oh, flashlights are on sale in big lots or something. Now you got your flashlights, and they're half the price that you would have paid at Target because they're not name brand. Do your homework. Get the initial prices, then go back and see if you can beat that price. Now, don't compromise quality for quantity, but there's certain things that the quality quantity equation is kind of so close. It's kind of eh. Because if you have 10 cheap flashlights, but they work and they're relatively waterproof, all right, well, maybe you $2 flashlights at the house for now. In any case, folks, the bottom line is start small, set a budget, understand kind of what your risks are in your area, and then go from there. Now, if you want to hear a little bit more, I'm going to do a shameless pitch. I know I normally don't do this, but I'm going to do it today. You can go get my book, Defensive Prepping. It is on Defensive Preparedness. It is on Kindle and it is on Amazon. You can get a hard copy. The Kindle's cheaper because they don't have to print paper. Um, I like books, so I have a copy, but of my own book, which is kind of silly. But I do have a physical copy of my book, and get a couple other books and get some ideas, get some knowledge. My book doesn't give you. Instead, I give you a way of how to think about assessing your needs and then breaking it apart in usable ways, breaking it apart in manageable components so you can move forward with your prepping. So, folks, there are a lot of good books prepping. It's some suburban survivalist guide. I'll leave links for both of these in the comments below. Um, there's quite a few good books, and there's lots of great creators out there. But do not listen to the ones that are saying, "Well, if you don't do all of the things I said to do, you're going to die," or "Don't even bother. You're too late." Simple, budget, calm. You got this. In any case, you guys take care. I will see you all on the next video. And oh, before I go, for all same thing. Keep your videos simple, pick a topic, just play with it. And most importantly, whether you're prepping or creating or both, have fun. Enjoy it a little bit. You're doing a good thing. Even if you make a mistake, someone else may learn from your screw up and go, wow, you know what? I'm not going to spend 20 bucks on that because that broke to pieces on Pete and set, the yard on fire and the dogs ran away. And you can learn from success and failure, but stick with it. It's a race. It's not a race. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. It's for the longer haul, whether you're a creator, a prepper, or both. All right. Now I'll sign out. You guys be good. Be safe.